So I'm going to start out by priming my eye. I'm just going to use a concealer, the same one I'm using under my eye, and it's going to be the Fenty Beauty concealer. My color is 420. So I'm just going to take the tip of that, apply the concealer, and then I'm going to take a fluffy brush and just blend that all in. So I like to take a piece of tape and just put that along the edge there so I can just have a nice stopping point and a nice clean line when I'm done with the eyeshadow. So today I'm going to be using the Killawatt foil palettes by Fenty Beauty. And the first one I'm going to start with is Sandcastle. It's this nice bronzy color. Let me show you what that looks like. And I'm just going to use the same blending brush that I used to blend in my concealer. So I'm going to tap that into Sandcastle. And I'm first just going to kind of go along the edge, just kind of where my brow bone is, like right there. I'm just going to kind of go along the edge. Slowly bring the color down. And the nice thing about these is you don't have to be super precise. The colors just really blend so well. You don't have to be precise with it, so it makes it really easy. The second color I'm going to use is called Mimosa Sunrise, and that is the orange looking color in there. And for that one, I'm just going to use a flat shader brush. I'm going to dip that into the Mimosa Sunrise, and I'm going to start out by pressing that in the middle of my eye. And then I'm going to take a little bit more and just kind of slowly go back and forth and taking it just a little bit higher. Not all the way up here like we did the first color, kind of halfway. And then I'm going to go back with the fluffy brush. There's no more product on it. I'm just kind of blending. Okay, now I'm going to go into Trophy Wife. And let me show you what this one looks like. It's a nice, pretty golden glitter color. And I'm going to take that same flat tip shader brush, and I'm just going to go right there in the inner corner. Oh, this is so pretty. The colors just mix so well. So now going back to the same fluffy brush, and just kind of go back and forth, just kind of bringing the colors in together. Now I'm going to take just a clean blending brush, and I just like to kind of go along the edges and just make sure everything's nice and blended. And then right here, just below the brow, I'm just going to take my setting powder, and it's just the same color as my skin tone. It's just a setting powder that you would normally use for your face. And I'm just going to take that and just put that underneath. So now I've removed the tape. If you feel like you've kind of gotten a little messy, that's okay. Try to do your eyes before you do your face makeup. I always do that anyway, especially when I'm working with glitter. There's not a lot of fallout with these Killawatt foil palettes, just maybe a little bit, and it depends on your technique and how sloppy you get. So if you do your eyes before your face makeup, no worries. You just take a makeup wipe, like so, and just kind of go around and clean it up. And then I also kind of like to go along the edges right there where the tape came off and just kind of clean that up a little bit more too. Another tip that I have for doing that, cleaning it up as well, is you could take a Q-tip. I like to take kind of a little Q-tip, just a regular Q-tip, and just go along and just make sure everything's nice and cleaned up around that inner corner too. So I decided to apply black eyeliner to the top. You don't have to. You could just apply mascara and call it a day. So now going into mascara, I love my double extend mascara. If you've been watching my channel, you know that I use this all the time. It has the primer on one end and then the mascara on the other end. So I take the primer side, the white side, and just apply that first. And then on the other side is the mascara. So moving on to the face, I'm going to first prime my face with the Fenty Beauty Primer. Looks like that. So I put a couple of pumps in my hand and just kind of apply that on my face and just rub it in. And then moving on to foundation, I'm going to use a new beauty sponge. This one's from Vanique's Beauty. They sent this beauty sponge to me. And what I like is it comes in this cute little container. So you just put it in that little container and then there's a top that goes like right on it, on top there. Really, really cute for travel. So I'm going to take this beauty sponge. I'm going to take the foundation, do a couple of pumps on the back of my hand. I'm going to take my sponge and then just begin to go to work. This beauty sponge feels really good too. And I like that it has this nice flat tip on it, so you can really get under the eye. I love that. This foundation just really blends in so easily. Okay, once we have that, I'm going into concealer. So if you don't know, she came out with some concealers recently and it makes it so easy. So if you already know like your foundation is $3.90 or $4.20, then your concealer is going to be the same number. Isn't that cool? I love that. And I'm just going to take that and apply just a little bit. So I make like a small little V just right below. Just a small V, nothing too big. And then I like to go kind of around my mouth a little bit. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to take that same beauty sponge. I'm going to start with this area first. And just kind of slowly work that and blend it in. And then I like to put the excess right there on my chin. And then when going under the eye, I like to kind of start buffing up and out. So not directly up towards the creases. I like to kind of buff out first, just so most of the product kind of doesn't get clumped in one area, if that makes sense. And then I slowly work the rest of it underneath. So a lot of times if you have problems with creasing, a lot of times that's happening because you're piling a bunch of product right there underneath, like right in that area, and that's too much. It's going to crease. So what I like to do is apply the primer, which I did first. I apply my foundation, but even with applying my foundation, I'm very light with putting it here. And then when you go into the concealer, start out, and I guarantee you this is going to help. Because you don't have so much product in one place, if that makes sense. And then I like to take whatever the excess is and just go right in the middle. So along with the concealers, she came out with setting powders. There's different colors for the setting powder. I got banana, and all the setting powders come in this nice little container. Very cute. So I'm going to take that same beauty sponge, and before I apply the powder, I'm just going to make sure I'm going to go back over my eye just one more time. Just make sure everything's nice and blended and nothing's settling in. And then take a little bit of that setting powder and I'm just going to press it in to the skin. So I like to apply the setting powder with a beauty sponge because I feel like it kind of sets really into the skin and helps to avoid the creasing. So now I'm just going to take my face powder. I just use the MAC Studio Fix powder, and the color I'm using is NW45. So I take a nice fluffy brush and just kind of work that in. And then for a little contouring, I go into a bronzer. I'm using the Bobbi Brown bronzer in Deep 4. And I just like to kind of go right along the cheekbones right there and just kind of curve like that and brush up. And then I also go along, so the sides, kind of making a little 3, kind of a little 3 shape. I don't go crazy with it, just a little bit, just enough to kind of add some definition and some depth. And for blush, we're going to use the same Killawatt palette. I'm going right into that Mimosa Sunrise, taking a little bit of that on my brush here, making a little smile and patting that right there on the cheeks. And then I do kind of little swirly motions kind of up. And then for highlighter, I'm going into the Trophy Wife. I'm going to take just a little bit of that and just put that just on the high points. So see, it just gives you just a little bit of a glow, just on the high points. Ooh, I got carried away on that one. So if you find that you do that, like I just did, you can take your powder brush and just kind of go along and kind of clean it up a little bit. So to finish the under eye, I'm using a color by Smashbox, and it's called Bouncer. It's just a nice blue liner. I really like this liner. It provides a lot of color, but at the same time, it still stays. It really stays all day. And then I'm also going to go into the foil palette and apply just a little bit of Trophy Wife in the inner corner. And then I'm going to take my shader brush and go back into Mimosa Sunrise just a little bit and just kind of go along the lower lash line. And then just finish up with my mascara. So moving on to the lips, I already lined my lips with a MAC lip liner, and this one is called Beat. And then I'm going to go over that with the Fenty Beauty lip gloss. This lip gloss, I believe, the name of it is Bilingual. This is what it looks like. So I'm going to take that and put it right over it. And I usually just, with the lip gloss, just apply a little bit in the center, a little bit on top, and just kind of blot. And then if I need more in certain spots, just go over it. And this is the final look. Thank you so much for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you next time.